Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I've got a 3v3 here on what looks like desert, yep. Between RVA, Never Stand Still, and Randall Williams versus Fluffy Rabbit, Raphiel, and casualclone. So, a bunch of nerfs here, and I'm assuming there's some Ronto, some dewbacks. So, high food start. Should be a much quicker T2 for all the players here. Get into the action a little bit faster. See, one house, then animal nursery here. So garrison those, I think it's 6, you got up to maybe 10 nerfs. Don't know if it's 12. Yeah, it's groups of 2 scattered around, and then a starting group of 4. It looks like RVA's found 6 of his just off the bat, quite lucky there. So I want to lure the hunt as well. And that'll really get things cracking. See, the Fluffy Rabbit's only found 2 of his, or he's got 6 just chilling here. You'll notice those now though. He's got his Rontos over here as well. Looks like he's got all 10. Just needs to get them in the nursery. Randall Williams garrisoning his. He's straight onto the carbon though. That's not really enough to sustain worker production properly. So you might have a little bit of a problem there. A little gap. Fall behind a worker maybe. See that RVA's lured his over. Get all those workers there, and that'll really help you just get that food surplus going really quickly. And during that little bit of downtime in the first couple of minutes, you can see that he's mined out these trees a little bit. So he's got about 250 carbon out of that, while just waiting for the Ronto to come over and relying a little bit on what's in the nursery. See, casualclone's already eaten one of the dewbacks. One of the Ronto. Might be ahead of some of the players in food by a little bit there. They must have found their hunt quite quickly. Got their carbon set up as well. It looks like they are RVA's wing here, so they might end up rushing one another. Seems to be quite up against the edge of the map there. Difficult to wall off fully. Although there is only 2 entrants, but if you walled that, you kind of, it's not too bad. You get a nice area to farm in. How about the other matchup on the other side? That's Randall Williams and Raphiel. Their side's quite open. It's a horrible carbon to protect. The Nova mucks up the mining arc as well. See the scout going down for Never Stand Still there. Unfortunate for him. He's the pocket, he's got a bit of a few idols kicking about. Looks like he's looking to maybe lay down some farms. Not sure you need the farms until you're midway to T2. RVA's got some AOPs here that he's looking to eat up. So put the food processor down. Just eat the Ronto there on site, rather than luring it to the command center. Troop center from casualclone, so it looks like he's going to rush RVA here. I think with the food processor investment, he's a little bit behind in infrastructure when it comes to a rush v-rush. But maybe this just comes down to how early casualclone had their carbon processor, because they do have a food processor here as well to eat up some EOPs. I'll definitely sustain them into T2. And you can see the Mounties marching its way over already. He hasn't got a power core up. He has put his power core into a defensive position, which will make it a little bit easier to sort of protect. But I don't think this is going to be like 4 Mounties coming out. It'll just be 2 with the extra Nova that you don't need. And I'll cause a bit of disruption, do some good scouting for them, and help them sort of keep their opponent down a bit while they build up a trooper surplus. So scouting ahead with the scout there just to see where they want to be going with the Mountie. He sent one to the food processor here, which is going to cause a lot of disruption, and he's just sending the other one there as well. He knows that his opponent has a power core, and he's seen that they're sending Mounties back towards them, but they get their attack off a lot quicker. Seems RBA was quite clever and actually lured the Ronto home, which makes this not too bad a situation, because there's only one EOP left to eat. So losing that area is not too much of a hindrance for them. However, for Casual Clone, there's still quite a few AOPs that they would want to be eating there, so they are rallying over a Trooper Recruit to defend this. In terms of the other side of the map, it looks like both players are just keen to T3. Don't have the well, there's a troop centre there, but not laying the pressure. There's a Mountie out already, but it doesn't seem to be doing anything. So I think Raphiel will get to T3 there unhindered. These Mounties are still going. It looks like he's managed to get 3 out. Can he afford? I see. Can't afford trooper attack. Overmade Mounties. They have to play very defensive from this point on. And I don't know if you could be aggressive at that point though. Being so further, well, being far behind here, the rebel player. You can see there's a lot of troopers out, and he is only on one troop centre, so turret going up and farms going down, so it's going to be a sort of defensive play. Problem is, the base is very open, quite easy to pick this apart. I mean, a turret could be placed here, and then that's game over really. There's no other place to get carbon. Not super close to going T3 either. If that food was maybe 700, you know, be a bit more hopeful, but there's going to be a bit of pain dealing with this attack. He is mining the ore though. He could get additional turrets in place. Would maybe want to get one here to protect the farms a bit. A worry is the troopers getting over here on top of the turret. So he gets in, gets a free kill. That's pretty much unavoidable, unless you garrison when you see them there. Another turret's gone up just to sort of protect this one, because it's just going to stand on it. But that is going to be a bit of time where you're not getting any carbon. It's slightly problematic when you've got to sell resources to get the 200 Nova to go to T3. You can see that their pocket, Fluffy Rabbit, is not a conventional player and has decided to do their own rush as well, rather than go T3. And also farming over here, which is... don't do this at home. See that RBA has found a bit more value from his Mounties by sending them to Raphiel. Managed to melee down these troopers, what's left, because I don't think all of them are in range of this turret. It's a slight misplay for him there. But he's got these two groups of troopers attacking his workers that are on the ore. Casual Clone does have a decent economy here with the rebel farm bonus and looking to go T3 themselves. RBA has managed to get himself up there. 1/3 of the way. As Naboo, he'll be looking to go air. I'm not too sure what's happening here for Never Stand Still. A bit of a famine going on. Needs to get himself a bit more farms. These strike mechs would be great if they were sent to help his wing. But currently they are just reserves. Just chilling at home, waiting to be called up to war. And instead of helping his wing, it looks like they're going elsewhere. Probably to attack Raphiel. So some Mounties from Raphiel's wing finding a position here. They could get the power core if they were microed appropriately. Dodgy Sith Temple to grab some holocrons. Not sure that's a worthwhile investment as an exposed wing with a slightly incompetent pocket. RV is doing his best to keep himself alive here, despite the neglect from his pocket. 2 air bases going down, which will help just clear up all the troopers here and let him sort of regain control of his base again. but he will be competing against a wing who has a much greater economy, and it's gotten into T3 as well. Like, the window which he can do damage to his opponent is very, very short, and it's going to have to probably be used to defend his own base. Not sure what's happening over there. Another great sortie from Fluffy Rabbit going across the map. Don't know if he's T3 yet. Absolutely not. Great pocket. So the fighters have cleaned up the troopers around the base here, and they'll need to look for some opportunities to do damage. Strike mechs out of casual clone, and an anti-air turret at home to defend. Surprised they haven't gone air off the bat there. They maybe didn't want to invest the carbon as such, or didn't think that they could maybe compete with RVA having the air bases up already. It's certainly a lot difficult for RVA to defend this than it would be air. And you see there's a nice little spot for them to sit there, which is just stopping all of those trees being mined. RVA is really going to need to get himself up another command centre, but you can see that he wants to put one here, but there's troopers just waiting. I don't think he can see that at the moment. He doesn't know that they're sitting there, so he might lose some workers as well, which would be quite unfortunate. Yeah, this is looking very painful for him. You can see a few workers there getting chipped off of the Nova. Pocket strike mechs are dealing with the Fluffy Rabbit sortie that's landed in their base. A lot of grenadiers there, wow. I've seen that in a long time. RVA is doing a really great job of keeping himself alive. Got good respect for that, considering he's getting absolutely no help. Let's see a command centre yet out of casual clone. Should be one soon. More strike mechs being sent out, keeping the pressure on. Definitely feels that RVA could crumble very soon. There's the command centre. So what's going on this side? Raphiel's got a lot of strike mechs and he's just sort of booming a bit as well. He's playing quite defensive. Getting some anti-air turrets as RVA tries to do some damage on this side. These two trooper recruits putting the fear into all these strike mechs. Great defensive tools. Strike mechs running around. Fluffy rabbits on the hollows now. I think the aggression's starting to ramp down a bit in the command centre. Players are just going to go into sort of economic mode. Not sure what Raphiel's planning to do with these strike mechs, just keeping them at home, collecting upgrades, and not applying too much pressure. How long have they been shooting these prefab shelters? Defensive MD here for casual clone. While they send their strike mechs out to do a bit more damage. It's really slowing down RVA's ability to get air out, being knocked off this Nova so much. He's finally got an MD from his pocket there to help him defend the attacks. But I think he's very, very far behind his wing here. And so what his wing will need to just do is just boom up a little bit and then get a forward placed and just kill him with troopers before he can get in a position to utilise any sort of tech level 4 air. Or go Jedis or something like that. Fluffy Rabbit absolutely hungry for Nova to upgrade his troopers, I'm guessing. These strike mechs still just kicking about at home. It's almost like he's showing mercy on RVA and his team at the moment, by not getting himself too involved. I wonder what happened to those Grenadiers. They must have yeah, they launched an attack and died. I don't see many strike mech bodies. Not a good investment. Arvy's still receiving endless pain from casualclone strikes here. He really is a punished man in this game. I think he's finally going to send the air out against his wing, but he's very well prepared for it. You see he's got 3 turrets, a few anti-air troopers just sort of scattered around as well, just to stop any sort of stutter micro from the air. Good amount of farms, healthy farms. And you can see here's the buildings. He's thinking about going T4 now. And then we'll probably see a push in front of that. Maybe looking to go T4 for like 34 minutes. Between 34 and 38, I think. RV desperate to do some damage with his air, but at the same time he's got to keep defending himself, garrisoning workers, just can't get himself settled or in a position where he's comfortable. Looks like he's just going to destroy a lot of workers here from Fluffy. Probably not worth the micro, considering what contributions he's done so far. What would be the best spot to place a fort? Probably here. Cut off the Nova and the ore. A lot of space for troop centres as well. Here come the strikes from Raphiel. This is just sort of too much to have to deal with in this kind of spot, with that kind of attack. I suppose bombers would actually be quite a good shout in this instance, because there doesn't seem to really be any air from his opponents out on the map. Doesn't look like casualclone wants to do a forward, they want to just do a little bit of a push from home. Unless they're a little bit worried about fighters finding the workers they send over and building a bit of anti-air to send over with the strike mechs. I do think a forward here, and it's GG. He's got nothing to deal with pummels or cannons. And I think with all those farms, it should be T4. Yeah. Looks like a bit of a fight going on up here. Raphiel's just placed a shield on this hill, which seems to be the target of all their wars. A couple of strikes going down there, not being paid attention to. Some mech destroyers from RVA's pocket. Sending more air out to Fluffy again. Or potentially is going to his wing now. He's just super prepared for this though, with all the turrets. It's not worth it. They're better served just making sure he doesn't get forwarded. Another strike mech attack. These are almost maybe fully upgraded at this point. Kill things very quickly. If he got a few more, he could just shoot down the mech destroyers. Again on Fluffy's workers. Raphiel losing quite a lot here. I don't think he's expecting this much mech destroyers. Desperately try to get as many out so that he can contest it, but he seems to have lost quite a lot of workers. Both rocking the same upgrades. More workers going down, just painful. Though with all those mech destroyers out, he doesn't have anything at home to defend as such. He's just gotten one out there, but it looks like he's lost quite a few workers on the farms and his Nova. Looks like he's maybe going up to T4 himself. Neverstandstill's hit T4 as well, the second player there. Still not really a forward out of casualclone. Fort at home instead. Bit defensive. Some mech destroyers being sent out towards the wing there. I'm really surprised that they've not just gone for the throw here. It's very easy to roll over your wing here and just win the game. Also keeping yourself on quite a rubbish tech for the rebels. Just being on max. See, Raphiel's losing a lot of workers here. He's just not been harassed too much with fair this game, so he's gotten a bit too comfy to send his workers out on this big set of trees, that forest. Still being annoying with these strike mechs, getting some damage in here and there. It's really keeping RVA down. Be very behind on workers there. I'm guessing there's a slight bit of concern that Raphiel's going to die here. I mean, he had the same amount of mech destroyers, I think he'd be fine. Are they perhaps going to do an attack together? No. So Casual just going out on their own, looking to trade with these mech destroyers. Now, what's one unit that Casual could make right here that wins this fight with so very little investment? It comes from this building, the fortress. A couple of speeders here, and you can help your wing, and you can still forward your opponent. So we see that Neverstandstill is getting a forward up in this position that probably would have been the best place to forward and kill RVA. So, a bit of a missed opportunity starting to develop there. And it looks like they'll be able to get themselves set up in this and go to war here. This attack's probably about 10 minutes late. And it was absolutely accomplishable 10 minutes ago. I don't know if that cannon can be properly or adequately protected. 5 AA mobiles might be okay. I'm not sure how T3 air does against a cannon. You can see that it's running into the fort. Bring MDs. Looks like that attack didn't do too well against the TF here. Those MDs would be quite handy. Air, again, this is probably the third visit to Fluffy Rabbit. He's at least making sure that he won't get any troopers sent to his base for the foreseeable future. Though instead he's pushed him onto the Jedi Knight path. There's a speeder now, being useful. Oh, some A-wings being sent out. Bit of a scummy unit choice. Certainly do the same trick that the strike mechs have been doing to RVA all game. You can't defend them if his air, but his air's over here hitting the pocket. All of this is not looking too good. You can see that they do a lot of damage, like flat damage to all units as well. They're pretty strong, pretty cheap, very quick. Not super balanced, at least at this point in the game. Need a few more carbon processors, I think. Yeah, not everyone could make it inside the command centers, I'm afraid. This army has just been absolutely trunched. Finally, troop centers go down to utilise the units that rebels are good at. These guys will be repositioning themselves back at home and waiting for the troops to get out. Give them support. The A-Wings are still stopping a good 30 workers from... more than 30. Probably his entire economy is not contributing right now. Waiting for these guys to come all the way home. They don't have shields or anything. Certainly a very vulnerable time there for RV. The troopers are starting to stockpile up. Very impressed here with the Trade Federation player and how well they're managing to do. It does just seem to be a lot of passivity from Raphiel though. I think there's quite a few times where he really could have laid into his opponent. Not sure how much long this lasts considering the amount of idols there and the sort of state of the economy behind these sort of two forts. Looks like he's sort of backing himself up against the edge of the map there with not too much. It's an okay amount of farms, but he needs to get all of these onto carbon and just really pump out as much of these mech destroyers as he can. And to give them anti-air as well. We can see here that casualclone has launched their trooper attack. Fortunately for them, they had all their support units ready already, so the troopers are going to do a lot better here. There's a good little speeder there, just getting some extra damage on the mech destroyers. So unfortunately they didn't place a shield here. They really should have put importance on keeping this Nova and this ore from being pushed on, because it's going to be very needed, particularly for RVA because of what Civ he's playing and their reliance on heavy Nova costing units. Good mix of Mounties and Repeaters here, which will really do well against this the strike mech destroyer army when it's in a low amount. There is a good arc there though. Might need to get some grenadiers and probably get a shield here as well. Be nice if the cannons were getting involved and at least maybe shooting on the units or at least applying pressure to the fort. This is sort of stabilised for the Gungan player now. You can see that these guys are finally clashing. The civs with the good mechs fighting one another. Oh. Doesn't want to be going into a fight against the shield though. A lot more speeders coming out now. Where's that fighters from Harvey? There they are. He definitely needs to get them involved. This anti-air is not too relevant now. If he's got fast fighters. He has got the shield as well, so he can technically push this army back and sweep it. What he needs is for Never Stand Still to push after this and take this position. If they get a shield up here, it's going to make it a lot more difficult for them to get a proper army together and get value out of the troopers. Seems to have lost quite a bit of air, but cleared up all the speeders, so if this army goes forward, it absolutely wins. These cannons are uncontested, and they're getting really good shots off here on this fort. Would like to see a shield go down though. Double their health pool. You can see that he's got a defensive cannon, and they do a decent amount of damage to one another. And because it's got the shield as well, it should be able to clear these up. A few shots. Lost a bit of his mech destroyers there. If there was a shield and someone did that and threw away mech destroyers to go for the cannons, you'd be able to push into them with the shield of your own. And maybe win the position that way. And then with your reinforcing cannons, take down the fort. These Jedi are a bit late for doing anything. Fortunately, this is starting to turn itself into a 2v3 now, really. Because these attacks are just not relevant. But it needn't have got to this point if there was less passivity from Casual and Raphiel at those points in the game where they absolutely were much stronger than their wings. I think the win objective here is just for this side to push in. I think that this side doing well is just it's a bonus. They just need to hold. There's a fort going down now. Royal Crusaders mixed in, or some Jedi mixed in with the strikes and the mech destroyers will really just deal with this absolutely. If you can get a surround, potentially wipe the army, but having to make so many anti-air troopers as well is not great. If you got a huge amount of Mounties, you wipe the army. They are walking into this though. If they get us around, they do well. We'd like to see some Grenadiers as well. Like, do decent damage. There's a lot of meat shields there. A lot of things for to be shot instead of the Grans. Shield now and just holding this position, that's great. We'd like to see cannons out again though. Maybe can't afford it. I think his economy is in a bit of a transition. Need to see some trade out of these players as well, because the Nova's running out. Oh, here we go, they've pushed forward. Oh, a lot of troopers have gone down. Let's try to get a power core, maybe a shield in that position. Sort of backed up against the wall there. Anti-air turret, I'm not sure that's really needed just now. Maybe just doesn't want to be reliant on the air. I think at this point you keep pushing forward and you sort of go for the jugular. Some strikes out of RV. I'd like to see some Nova units other than the air to come and help him. So he's getting this Nova as well, which is nice for him. Need to grab that up. If this is just patrol, then it might win. Although these Mounties are hiding here. Oh, there's a lot of mech destroyers. I think Casual wins this. If he gets the you get the sort of 3 arcs against this army. This, and this. And if it's around, these mech destroyers will absolutely shoot them, but they need the Mounties in front to tank. It's got to be now before the shield goes up and doubles their HP. There we go. Let's see how this goes. The anti-air making them move a bit slower. And the air does help here kill the Mounties a bit quicker. And the strikes as well, the heavy strikes from RVA help. Shield is going down though, the cannons have come forward. There's a few mech destroyers that could be joining the party here. But it looks like a decent-ish trade. We just need to keep making Mounties now and keep throwing them and getting them into this position. Assault mechs are a little bit of a problem if they get some good shots off here. They have such a high health pool as well. Reinforcing air from RVA is going to cause some difficulty. There's not a reliable anti-air here either, because a lot of it was just in anti-air troopers, which, you know, they die very quickly in this situation. I don't think the standing army is strong enough anymore for casualclone to win this. They're just sort of entering a killing field here, but the units that are coming out, and they got the defender's advantage as well because it's a little bit closer to their production. Those units just have a lot more health. Should have went for the workers there. Got that anti-air turret up. Certainly strengthened that a little bit for them. Assault mech can take it down quite quickly though. Oh! Is this Fluffy Rabbit's redemption arc? Will these troopers make a difference? Or will they take a massive shot from this assault mech? Seems like the Mounties are quite prepared to let these be fodder. Sending them to their deaths. Wonder what's happening up here in the Great War. Still fighting over this position, but it looks like he's finally got the fort under control. I think that fort is going down. Yeah, there's nothing repairing it. There's no cannon to defend it, so. It seems to me like the Trade Federation player is winning the war. Looks like there's a lot of mech destroyers went down here as well. Not too many sort of blast explosions, which symbolise their deaths. Just a lot of dead walkers. Snipes that cannon, that's nice. Keep his shield alive a little bit longer. This army is absolutely stabilised now and just needs to push. Oh, looks like GG's being called. I think they've definitely accepted defeat here. It was certainly winnable for a long time though. But it's gotten a bit too much for them with the sort of position they find themselves. in a 2v3. But we can certainly say that I think RV does deserve this win for what he's endured, particularly in T3. His pocket's certainly done right by him once he's gotten into the game, but early T3, very poor. It's not what you want to see. So casualclone concedes, Raphiel concedes, it's just on Fluffy Rabbit there, who may just win it all with the vintage signature pummel push. Look at the speed they move. Look at that. These guys, like, this is just a leisurely stroll now for the Jedi Knight. Usually these guys are like on crack. Look at the arm flail. Leisurely stroll all the way to RVA. About to lay the smack down here. Seems that there's an insufficient amount of anti-air there. Imagine the Sayer's coming back and deal with that. I don't think this army's going to do too well. Everyone's just throwing their units into his base now, try to get him to leave. Tell me that's a human player. The pummel push. Very good. Right, I'm going to call it there because I have no idea how long that goes on for. If you liked the video, give us a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Let us know if there's anything you want to see from the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.